Ah, greetings! My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. Last time we made this mob grinder, which doesn't actually work properly. Not really. It's supposed to kill the mobs by falling, but like half of them survive, and also there's this whole issue with the spiders sort of getting clogged up. But that's actually a boon but if you look at it a different way, it's actually a boon. Not the spiders getting clogged up. That's a genuine issue that I'm gonna have to deal with. But it means that I can put the whole of them having them surviving means I can use it as a combination mob grinder and source of life essence for my blood altar with the dagger of sacrifice. Sadly, the dagger sacrifice, the range for that, actually sacrificing stuff and adding life essence to the altar is very small. So I'm going to have to put it like right below the mob grinder. It'll be a bit awkward, but it should work. But before we do any of that, we should probably get around to finally making that cake for Zillith. It's like at this point, it's like very easy to make. I should be able to easily find a couple of a cow somewhere to get milk, and I got the eggs and everything. I could have done this a while ago, actually, but we're doing it now. All right. There we go. A cake. Now that we have the cake for Zillith, the cake specifically designed for Zillith's cake, that cake. But the question here that we have to answer is, are we actually going to give him the cake? Think about it. On the one hand, Zillith, well, he's the one that created the taint. He's the reason the world got fucked. So he might be thinking, well, maybe he doesn't deserve the cake. On the second hand, like he has been, working all of this time, all these aeons in this pocket dimension of the last millennium to undo that mistake that he deeply regrets of creating the taint in the first place. On the third weird mutant hand that we have, apparently, well, think about why he regrets making the taint. Because he was perfectly content to use the taint as a weapon. It's just that when it backfired on him and his people that he regretted creating it. So, like, he was perfectly willing to commit atrocities on his enemies. He just didn't like it when his people got atrocities visited on them by his own doing. So, on the fourth hand, that that we made out of fucking thaumaturgical energies, perhaps he didn't realize just how horrible it was until he saw it, sweep across his own land. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it was only after that he had happened to him that he realized just how horrible it was of him to do it to create such a thing in the first place and use it on anyone at all or something. And on the fifth hand that we created through cybernetic technology and strapped to our back, maybe he didn't want to create it in the first place, but was forced to by the king, who was waging the war on the Dark One. So yeah, that's the question of whether or not he deserves the cake. Honestly, I'd say no. No, I don't think he does. But as to the question I actually asked, which is, will we actually be giving him the cake? The answer is yes. Yes, we will. Because that's the thing about grace. If you deserved it, you wouldn't need it. Cake. Oh, wow. This is amazing. I thought I would never eat another cake again. Please, take my thanks. I have nothing to offer you that I have not already given you. But I hope that the gratitude of an old, foolish wizard is enough reward. That it is. That is Zillith. That it is. I must savor every bite of this blessed meal. Alright. Now that that's over and done with, how about we do a bit of exploring? 'Cause we've been sitting on the top of this tower for a little while now. How, how about we actually start exploring it for once? I didn't do it when I first came to this tower because it was full of nasty creatures, but now that I've got this bow, I should be able to get through this tower no problem. And that overconfidence certainly won't bite me in the ass later. So let's get started then, shall we? Because as I mentioned before, there was a massive update a while before I started the series, the first in years, which made some pretty big changes to the mod pack. And probably the biggest of these changes was the Eerie Tower. Massive overhaul. It was pretty boring before the overhaul. And similarly, the Dark Ones quest line, which was pretty anemic before, also was massively expanded. Hematurge, as well as a Hematurge. Ooh, Cade Cloth Scrap. Get all this bounty. King's bounty, even. Man, I haven't played that game in years. Ooh. Ornamental dagger. It's a shame you can't actually melt down tools in Tinker's Construct. Oh well. You can melt down tool parts, obviously, but not the tools themselves. Tainted fruit. Whoa. Tainted fruit. Ooh, hang on. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is stuff for the xenobiologist. Local currency. Fascinating. It appears the inhabitants of this planet use bronze coins as their currency. Given how rare copper and tin are on this planet, I suppose that makes sense. Well, this is just an interesting curiosity for me. It might be quite helpful for you. Go to the Engineer tab. Perhaps you can use these coins as a scrap to get bronze ingots. Ah, yeah. The textiles of a culture are a gateway into how they lived and what they valued. Illegible symbols. I don't know. I think that's supposed to be its imperative, that you bring back any textiles you recover so we can understand the former inhabitants of this planet. Yeah, you can turn them in for a bit of reputation as a reputable quest, but honestly, I think they're more valuable turning into string early on. Before you set up, like, cotton farms or sheep ranches. String can be a bit hard to come by, because obviously spiders are not really going to be spawning. I guess now that I have the spawner, once I actually get that properly working, I won't have to worry about that. Can I combine these to make it fully functional? No. Huh. One said it was slightly damaged, but it just says anvil here, and this one just said anvil, but now it says very damaged. I don't know about what the deal with that is. Oh, bloodwood chunks. That would be a good way to. That would be a good way to skip even having to get bloodwood saplings. I should mention that. Hang on. Well, I can use it to repair this. Or maybe I can't. What? Huh. Okay then. Weird. But yeah, I'm not certain exactly how much a bloodwood chunk is. But I'm sure it's enough to... I'm sure all that is enough to make at least one part. If nothing else, you could at least use it to... as an axe head to mine bloodwood. Oh, and a bloodwood tool rod. Heh. Like I said. I really need to upgrade these bows. Ooh. And here we have... Ow! These arrows, rather, not these bows. That doesn't make any sense. Yoink! Now... Yeah, this wither skull is actually very important. It's one of only 3 on the map. And obviously, the nether isn't available. So it is... So it's crucial to get wither skulls some other way in order to get... in order to actually summon the wither. And there are other ways to get them, through infusion and stuff. But the easiest way, of course, or at least the most fun way, is to scour the map for them. Ooh. Quicksilver. Now, of course, you may be wondering what the... How useful... You may be thinking, like, oh, how useful is summoning the wither? Well, it's important because... in a weird sort of backwards thing, it's actually the only way... Beating the wither is the only way to actually get wither skeletons, if I recall. Because... the way it works is... once you beat the wither, you can get the nether star, which you use to make the beacon, which you can use to fight the Gaia Guardian. And the Gaia Guardian from Britannia summons the occasional wither skeleton in its waves of summon minions. And so if you can catch one of those in the old safari net, you can actually... Soul Sky. You can actually start auto-spawning them using the Mine Factory Reloaded auto-spawner. And I think you might also be able to use I think you might also be able to use the Thumbcraft auto-spawner, or whatever it was called, Wrath Cage, that's what it was. But maybe not. So, once you have that, you can get infinite wither skeleton heads, which you can then use to get more nether stars. Of course, there is 1 or 2 other ways to get nether stars in this game. So actually fighting the wither isn't actually the only way to get wither skeletons, but yeah. Anyways, here's a Fruit of Grisaia, incredibly powerful artifact, able to rapidly to consume mana to very rapidly get you back to full hunger. But those of you who've played Britannia enough may understand that, yeah, it's not a good idea to take this, because it's not my Fruit of Grisaia. It's soul bound to the dark one, so it'll just damage me if I hold it. Now that's a very obvious secret. Not sure what it does though. Something behind here. Yes. Death. Alright. Hi. There we go. This is how you deal with melee enemies. Shit. There we go. I may not have any arrows left, but I do have a hammer. What are you doing? What? Just standing there. Menacingly. There we go. Just broke his AI or something. Maybe he was trying to lure me out? I don't know. Nah. Kind of ritual. Yeah. I should probably take these ritual stones, actually. They're fairly valuable. Well, I mean, yeah, they're effectively 1 obsidian, 1 reinforced slate. So, yeah, fairly valuable early on. So you need a shit ton of them for rituals, hence the reason why there's a shit ton of them here. Don't worry, I'm not actually, like, interrupting some ritual. That, as you can see, like, a good chunk of the ritual stones have already decayed. Which, by the way, is not an actual mechanic. It's just a lore thing where, like, so much of this place has decayed. Obviously, very little in Minecraft actually does decay over time. Even in mods. And that is a beautiful thing. That looks a bit odd. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's just that way. Nugget cast. Yeah, I'll take it. Not sure when I'll be needing to cast out nuggets, but... Ooh. Maybe I can. Aha! Pig iron. Raw meat. I don't need that. Iron, gold, more iron. Very nice. Oh, can't believe I almost missed that. Well, actually, yes I can. Where? Ah. Now here we are at the bottom level. Oh, vicious bastards. Hang on, I should, wasn't there a... Tool... Here we go, tool station. There. Alright. 28 shots probably won't be enough, but I should be able to peel them off carefully and... Yeah! He can't do shit! You wanna go for another... 1 or 2? It's a tad awkward. So I keep thinking that's an iron door, but no, it's just like a ghostwood one or something. Or Sakura, what, rather. Ugh. Okay, now the hard part. The range guys. What's that? Here we go. I really need to upgrade these arrows. They are not doing much. But they're enough. They're sufficient for now. And most importantly, they're accurate. You never want to sacrifice accuracy when you're making the fletching. Inaccuracy will fuck you over far easier than any other. Unless you're just always shooting fucking point blank shots. Okay. Oh wow, that's a lot better. I should just grab that damn tool station. What am I doing? And this is kind of reminding me of I was just playing Receiver 2 the other day. You know, carefully finding vantage points and peeling them apart bit by bit. It's not nearly as exciting as Receiver 2. Or as intense. But an amusing... Ah, fuck. It's an amusing comparison. I wonder if anyone's ever actually modded in, like, Receiver 2 stuff into Minecraft. I wouldn't be surprised. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's not, if they haven't either. I'm sure this is riveting gameplay. Damn it, he took cover. Clever girl. Oh, I'm like 99% certain that's not even intentional. Just random with a knockback, but it's funnier to think that he's actually deliberately taking cover. When will you die? Oh my god, what? He just won't die. Jesus Christ, he must have had 1,000,000 HP. Ooh, flame string. Crimson Colt chestplate. Same as iron. Brass. Ooh, much worse than iron. Jesus. And here we have the king on his throne. You might think that's just, you know, yet another victim of Zillith's great mistake, and you're not entirely wrong. But I don't think that person is actually dead. I think the implication is that this is actually the Dark One's corporeal form before he ascended into a disembodied will. I mean, you might consider that to be death of a sort, but I wouldn't. A man is only dead when he truly ceases to be. That is my reckoning. Everything else is just life by different means. Oh yeah, and there's some of those mana cookies. One of the other methods of getting around diminishing returns, because they always fill your hunger bar, just like mushroom soup. Well, just like mushroom soup when eaten with a straw. But whew. Remember, as I said in receiver, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Ow. Heh. Southern military sword. Southern. Interesting. Yeah, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. It's some kind of it's the sort of runic spell system that Blood Magic has, but I've never really delved into that. I've never really needed to deal with any of that, so I have no idea what this is supposed to do. For all I know, it's not even complete. It could have been worn away by time or something. And look at this! This is the true bounty of this eerie tower. An incredible bounty of language samples and untranslated alien grimoires. The alien grimoires, the way they work is they're basically a way of using a surplus translation devices. They give you a big boost of aspects for the Zomcraft research system. Okay. I need space, not just air. Just grab a chest, somewhere. Come on. Gotta be a chest somewhere. Oh, didn't go in here. Not much here. Whatever. No, here we go. Ah. Having everything except the thing I wanted you to grab, as usual. Now then. Put this down. And just dump my stuff in. Make space. And then we start fucking looting. Whew. Alright, there we go. 3 taint-stricken manuscripts, 3 moldering books, 3 decaying manuals, 1 musty tome, 8 faded notebooks, 2 damaged codexes, 16 bug-eaten treatises, and 32 fragmented minutes, and also an old city legacy. Hamden Mire isn't the only old city with a legacy, which is, oddly enough, a reference to the Dungeon and Fighter series, which I've never actually engaged with. I don't get it. But yeah. And, of course, 11 untranslated alien grimoires. Let's see how much this all turns into. Actually, I'll keep the Old City Legacy. It looks cool. And it only turns into 4. And there we have it. 6 full stacks of language samples and 1 nearly full one. Oh yeah. Star Wars, baby. Of course, still not quite enough to actually translate all of these alien grimoires. But oh well. Hang on. I'll turn in some of this stuff, like... Here we go. Bronze coins. You know, the local currency won't do you any good when the locals are, purple zombie things. Tell you what, give me some of those coins and I'll melt them down into an ingot for you. Jeez, 64 coins for 1 bronze ingot. Not exactly a fantastic source of bronze. By any stretch of the imagination. But oh well. Oh, and I forgot, have I checked here? Yes. Yeah, I've been here before. It's one of those atlases, which are not exactly very important since I've got, well, this. Ooh! How'd I miss this? Untranslatable alien book. Oh! Ah, yes, this is the whole thing, the Redstone book. Forgot about that one. You have a diamond, a couple of runes, a basic rune and a very advanced rune. Another untranslated alien grimoire that I don't care about. Coins, coins, alien grimoire. Yeah. There's just so much to find in here. Probably won't even find all of it, actually. But yeah, now that I can now finally open the front door. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I should really submit a shimmer leaf to this xenobiologist. Yeah, this flower you sent has a strong adverse effect on the biomass. This could be the key we need to restoring the plant. Tried to find some way to replicate this effect in our labs, but we've been unsuccessful. We have, however, found plants genetically similar to the blooms near the trees Rushton is sending you to. Those, I'm sure, could be cloned as normal. Perhaps you could send us a sample. Yep, and now we can get cloned shimmerleaf. Dr. Bryson has been producing these artificially in the lab. She says you probably want them. They're way harder to make than they look. Seriously, if you want flowers, couldn't you use roses or something? Yeah. You knew that. Wait. Okay, apparently we can do that, even though we can only do that if it's very good or better, and it's only good. That's weird. Anyways. But, yeah. Don't really have much need for them. They'll probably be needed for creating ethereal blooms in the future, but we'll only be doing that once we can mass produce the shimmer leaves. You really need to start mass producing all this crap for it to have huge effect. I should do some testing on the with the, because like I'm not entirely certain what the range is for this dagger of sacrifice, because I know you can only do it very small distance away from the altar and still actually properly sacrifice rather than just hitting them with sticks. Okay, no, I'm sure I had a safari net somewhere. Okay, this is the range of the altar. Anything standing on this area, including the parts I didn't fill in for whatever reason, will be sacrificed if hit with a dagger of sacrifice, rather than it being basically just me beating them with sticks. It's a tight squeeze, but it should cover the entire area of the mob grinder output if I put it right below the floor of it. It's a good thing that's not where where the mobs are spawning, it's just where they're corralled to. Otherwise, when I eventually have to put in these glowstone things to increase the tier, that could be an issue. But, fortunately, it's not. Alright. Ah, if only I had set up just one like to the side, it would have been perfectly in line with the damn grid. Ah well. It's just struck me that bloodwood is a very appropriate building material here. And then I've got a couple spare because of Obama. Tier 0. What? There we go. I just had to update it. There we go. Tier 2. There we go. Now it's nice and eye level. Okay, this should work. Yeah, this is working! This is working! Can't quite reach a couple of those guys, though. I'll have to set up little kill things like that on the other sides as well. Now, if only I can figure out a way of dealing with that nonsense. Oh, look at all this. And look at all this. Oh, I reached the cap, in fact. Okay. I really just actually start using that stuff. Alright. Now that we've got that tier 2, we can start making a magician's blood orb. This blood orb is too weak to be of much use. You'll need a better one. To do that, you'll need to repair my altar. Do you see how time has ruined most of the blood runes around the altar, turning them to simple cobblestone? You must reforge the blood runes and repair the altar. One day I will want all the runes on my altar replaced, but for now, I only require the innermost 2 rings to be restored. They need not be inscribed. The blank blood runes will be good enough. If you stole my glowstone, you will have to replace it as well. Once you do that, place a block of gold in the altar to get the orb you'll need. It will take more than 25 buckets worth of life essence to create, and the altar can only hold 10 buckets worth. I trust you'll find a way to make that work. A stream of constant sacrifices, for instance, may be what is required. Remember, this is to save your world. I certainly got a constant stream, alright? What blocks of glowstone? Then we're gonna need to put in, like 5 on each side, 5 blood runes on each side. And then a pillar in the corners with the glowstone block at the top. That's one thing I kind of like about blood. One thing I really like about blood magic is that bit of pizzazz, where you don't, where the stuff that you're making, it's not just some little apparatus or some little magical machine. It actually, or something silly like the mana pool. It actually requires you to create something genuinely kind of cool looking. I mean, there's enough you have enough wherewithal to potentially create, well, do what I'm doing, for instance, and create something that looks a bit more daft, but yeah. Alright, so we need blood runes. Or at least runes of some variety. A blood rune will just require 2 blank slates and 6 stone. And blank slates are, of course, just stone plus 1000 LP. This is we need effectively 8 stone for each of these, and we need 18 of them, since we already have 2 in the other rings. That means we're going to need 2 stacks plus 16. At some point, I'm probably going to automate stone production and also get some more advanced furnaces, like maybe once I actually get power generation. Because of course, as is mentioned, I believe by the supplier, Yeah, the atmosphere makes the dynamos and generators and such too unstable. There's only two ways, reliable ways of, oops, of generating power. Nuclear power plants and the mana flux field from Britannia for turning mana into power. Neither are exactly convenient, and both are pretty cumbersome. Ideally, there's some like bit of semi-automation you can do with this via hopper, but that needs to be above it, which would obviously be an issue. Okay, there we go. Should be all the slates I need for now. There we go. 18. Okay. But that should be good, right? Yeah, there we go. Alter tier 3. Now this should work. Just need to keep sacrificing stuff. Hopefully this works anyways. I mean, we're getting mobs real fucking fast, but I'm not certain if it's fast enough. What the hell dropped an iron-capped wooden wand? What? Alright then, I guess that saves me a couple ingots, I suppose. Neat. At least I finished this quest. For getting a wand. And that. Yeah, okay, this could work. Yeah, just fucking place water, prevent them from actually dying so that more of them survive. Which is the opposite of what I wanted before, but it's still here. Yeah, here we go. Alright. This should be hopefully enough. Huh? There we go! It was enough. Alright. There we go. And I've completely run out of space yet again. Jesus. And all these stupid unstackable bows with no durability. Oh, I should have. A sword is actually useful. Yeah. Actually, that's actually really good. I didn't even realize you could get swords from here. I didn't even think of that. So those, if I can get more of these iron swords as drops, then I won't even need to request them. But man, this fills up really fucking quickly. I think I need to just set up some like storage drawers, each set to store an item, something. I don't know. All right. Now I have the next orb. Get some easy peasy. Now the next upgrade, of course, will require even more of the blood runes, and also some bloodstone, which requires blood shards, which is actually which can be gotten from the bound blade. From killing stuff with the bound blade, if I recall. Fortunately, of course, I got that bound blade from the tainted hematurge. So getting the blood shards should be easy enough. Oh, unless of course they die instantly. That doesn't actually give you much. They have to suffer the very strong weakness debuff that this gives, and then die. Hang on. Oh, and I don't think. Let's see. How about you? Yep. They give the blood shards. They also give these tainted blood shards, which I'm fairly certain do nothing at all. Well, they're actually. I guess they're a. I guess they're a source. I think they're a source of the whatever the taint essentia stuff is. Aside from that, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Alright, and after that I can get, let's see, more imbue slate and just casually another star. Like I said, there's a couple other ways of getting them. And yeah, and then for the fourth tier, which is an extremely important tier, I'm going to need 4 beacons. Now, there is another nether star you can get, and from quests, I believe the black market, where you can trade the alien metals. There's one quest that gives you them. That gives you a star. And there's also there's also the nether star you can get from being the Wither with the three Wither skulls that are on the map. However, as you can tell, that considering you need 4 of them, that's not quite enough. Yeah. So we're going to need to progress a little farther into Britannia to start getting Wither Skeleton. Or progress far enough into Thaumcraft to create Wither Skulls. But I think the Britannia thing is probably easier. Okay. And besides, we're also going to want to progress into Britannia so we can start getting up the Mana Flux field so that we can set up a applied energistics network linked up with a storage dwarves network because of the way the dwarf controllers work. You can, like, the whole thing with the storage dwarves where you can link them all up to a single storage dwarf controller. You can link like a ridiculous amount of storage dwarves to a single controller. Normally the range is like 11 blocks away from the controller in any direction. That's how far they can connect to it. But, or so I've been told, but I've never actually experienced that because I think probably due to some weird bug or maybe change the config or something. For some reason, I don't think my stuff has that limit, or at least if it does have a limit, it's much higher. Because I've connected them across like half the map. But anyways, so yeah, and that whole thing where you can slap a storage bus on a controller to connect that whole system to the applied energistics network, which is a lot easier than having to deal with the whole fucking disk storage and all that. Okay, I did a bit of revamping of the mob grinder, so now I've got better storage, and these slabs have been replaced with pillars, which is the same around these areas as well, so that should prevent the spiders from ever climbing up. Alright. Now we should probably get started on... Yeah, we should really get started on setting up an entropinium chamber for detonating TNT and all that. For that, we're going to want a couple more of the blood magic sigils. Of course, the divination sigil will be handy for actually seeing how much life essence we have in our system. Here we go. I need more glass. What the fuck? Why is it sometimes just like Anytime the fucking mob grinder gets unloaded, it just fucking somehow like a few spiders escape. What is with this? I don't understand that. What? How are these spiders escaping? There's no part of this whole system where they could possibly get out from. It's just another bit of random fucking bullshit that just fucks me over randomly for no reason. In other words, it's just fucking typical shit for me. Anyway, we have this divination sigil. There we go. We can see we've got 9,000 life essence. Oh yeah, now we're rolling in life essence. Let me get a bit more. Okay. So we got that. Can get this quest. And that unlocks quite a few other things, some of which I've already finished, like the air sigil. Flight. Walking and running are such an undeveloped form of teleportation. Yep. Indeed. Alright, and the water sigil. Now what we want is the lava sigil. That's going to be important. For this, we're gonna need 6 lava buckets, plus 3 for the lava crystal. Yeah. We're gonna need a couple more buckets. Fortunately, I know of where we can get some lava. Not on the Obelisk Island, but if we go a bit further northwest from the Obelisk Island, we can find the Mushroom Islands. And those, for whatever reason, have loads of lava. A better lava source than the fucking volcano. He just pools of lava everywhere. Alright. Now where's the thingamajig? Here we go. Also a great source of mushrooms, which are a source of infinite mushroom soup. If you didn't get the healing axe, that would be a great way to get loads of get around the whole fucking diminishing returns crap. Because of course, if you put mushroom soup into a portable tank, you can then suck it out with a straw and get, and that will instantly fill your hunger fully. It's a bit weird, but hey, it works. Oh yeah, it's this, and yeah, this is the Blood Magic, Botania, and Thaumcraft all have ways of creating ethereal blooms in this mod pack. Yeah, I know you may have found other ways to create these blooms, but trust me, it's easier with my help. Just put 4 silverwood leaves in the chemistry set, with a diamond. It'll create a bloom. Of course, you'll need to place my Magician's Blood Orb in the other slot, and it must be full of life essence. You don't think I asked that you restore my altar for no purpose, did you? Kinda. Yeah, it's not exactly the cheapest method of creating blooms, though if you have plenty of diamonds, then it is very simple. Alright, and now I need to get, 2 more buckets of lava. me grab these while I'm here. Where's the other? Ah, there you are. These fucking spiders! Jesus. And there we go. Now we can create lava very easily. It does cost 1,000 life essence, but that's not that bad. I've got 25,000, which should be pretty much exactly what I need. Maybe a little more because I'll need a bit for making water with the water sigil too. Oh yeah, this lava crystal, you can use it to, yeah, smelt stuff using life essence. Or put it into a blood altar. Wait, oh right, I need some actual life essence in there first. Now, there we go. So yeah, now we got the weak activation crystal for ritual stuff. Alright, here we go. We've got a very rudimentary entrepinium setup. So yeah, the gunpowder comes from over here, goes into here, which is then also fed by sand, which is being created by an alchemy catalyst, which is powered by these 3 hydrangeas, which should produce somewhere around 3.5 sand per second. A little over 3.5, if I recall, which is enough to create about one TNT every 14 seconds. Which is then done by the liquid crafter, which crafts every time it gets a redstone pulse. And then it's fed into this dispenser, which once I set up the timer, will dispense directly into a solid obsidian block, which will which means that even if the entrepinium fails to absorb it, its explosion will be absorbed by the obsidian block that it's inside, which should work on its own, but just in case, I've also got this obsidian cage to ensure that if it does somehow not get absorbed, all it will do is destroy the dispenser and maybe a few of the item ducts. Which weren't cheap, admittedly, since they needed tin and lead, which aren't exactly common, so I just requested them from the supplier. But yeah. It should produce enough mana to fill a mana pool in about half an hour. It's not the best of systems. I can already see some flaws with this, but it should work for now. So let's set it up. 280 ticks. That's 14 seconds. You can hear explosion going off. And then, again, these are empty. Okay, there's a little bit of time. I could definitely shave off some time from that, but this should be fine. Alright. Next up, we're going to be making Next up, we're going to be making oh, that might have been the wrong way. Yeah, a thermometer. Because this finishes this paranormalist quest, which, for some bizarre reason, is what unlocks the ability to request the antique tools. Yeah, you're an antique tool. Yeah. So, which is the only way of, yeah. The only the only reliable way of getting these iron swords, which I'm gonna need for finishing up this crap. Now, of course, for now, I still need the. I'm actually gonna do that because I still need the life essence from sacrificing them with the dagger of sacrifice. But once I get those 4 beacons and get to tier 4 uh, altar, my all of my life essence woes will disappear. Now that we've got something set up, while we're waiting for that to finish, we should start on Domcraft, the paranormalist quest line. I found that the iron on this planet seems to be good at conducting that mysterious energy I mentioned earlier. Did you build a device to harness it? Well, I haven't actually, but I found one just from random drop from a peck. Or is it Petch? I'm not certain. I vote you make it look like a wand. As you might have been able to tell, I've always had a thing for the paranormal. Yeah, Dr. Sprouse. Kind of a weird guy, but honestly, probably the sanest member of this expedition. Despite certain things. We should make a book to record our findings. Make a bookshelf. Note that Dr. Dio has invented a clever method of creating books with patterns and string instead of leather. When you have done this, right-click the bookshelf with the wand and make a book to record our findings in. What? It's already got writing in it? Interesting. Interestingly enough, it seems to describe the magic that the inhabitants of this planet used before their apparent demise. We must investigate further. According to the book, you have to make a thermometer. Let's make that our top priority. Alright. With the thermometer, we can follow a very strange and circuitous path to get the aspects and all that. I'm not entirely certain how it works, honestly. It's very strange. You gotta study the sources of life, whatever that means. You've gotta unlock stuff in a really weird and completely counterintuitive manner. I really don't understand the way the scanning works. I just scan random shit until something works. And there we go. There we go. Oh yeah. Now see, normally this would actually be really fucking actually really fucking small, but I think some patch or something that added to Blightfall that allows you to actually have a reasonable sized Thaumanomicon. It's nice. That was probably some of these don't even have aspects because they're not actually configured properly for Domcraft, so easily my least favorite part of Thumbcraft is just this ridiculous rigmarole. Okay, there. Got a bunch of different aspects researched. Hopefully that'll be enough for now. God. tc.research_name.dawnmachine. I don't think that's working properly. I mean, it's possible that's the intended name for the research, but somehow I think that's slightly unlikely. With this with the scribing tool and some paper, we can start doing some research. First, we're going to start researching research. There. So you gotta connect the connect the things, with the things that they're either. There's a whole thing where a lot of aspects are compounds. See, with that research, I can see what these are compounds of, and so you gotta connect them either with the things that they're a compound of, or the things that they're things that have that are compounds of them. But they can't... Yeah. It's... a lot of people find it very confusing, apparently. There we go. Now with those, I'll be able to see the compounds. I'll be able to shift-click things to create them from the compounds. And I'll have a chance to not use... to refund my aspects when I have to erase them. Refund the research points when I have to erase them. And also have a small chance of not using them at all in the first place. Now then. Probably get a better wand, because this one sucks. And besides, this isn't my wand. There we go. You really want to look out for stuff like that. Because, things that are compounds of... Things where their two compounds are a thing and then another thing, which also has that other thing that the first thing is a compound of as one of its compounds. So see, metallum is Terra and Vitreous, but Vitreous is Ordo and Terra. So this allows me to connect these in 3 instead of 4, so it's more efficient. It's all about finding these little connections. This should be a simple Fames, then Victus, then Terra. Alright. Here we go. Arcane work table. Huh? Research book. Aha! Here they are! The Bloody Scrivener's tools. These will... See, normally the tools will... The scribing tools will normally use up... Will normally, like, use up ink. It'll have, like, a store of ink, and every time... And eventually we get used up, and then you have to restore with more ink. Or, which can, of course, be cumbersome, because grids aren't exactly common in a tainted world. There are other ways of getting around it. However, the Bloody Scrivener's tools will instead use my life essence. I knew there was some somewhere. Alright. Now I need some of this. Which I can get from draining these nodes. I'm not even sure if that's the right kind of vis I need. Hang on. What do I need? Ordo, Ignis, Air. Alright. I should start scanning these nodes. Now if I recall, there's some pretty good nodes somewhere around here. Yes. Here we go. Ordo and Ignis. Gold cap, and now Greatwood rod. Guess that Proditio vis did come in handy. And now need more air, Terra, and Ignis. Okay. So we want in here and swap. Come on, take the air, damn it. There we go. That one's a sinister node. There's a couple of sinister nodes on this island. They work similarly to pure nodes in that they prevent the place from getting tainted. They also tend to cause weird monsters to appear. So, yeah. Okay, I'll have to do a bit of traveling then. Oh, wait, or... Alright, I forgot. Some of these silverwood trees have multiple nodes in them. Alright, this should easily be enough. Alright. There we go. Unfortunately, of course, you can't, this can't actually carry over to when you upgrade the wand to the next level. I've always had this one idea for like a add-on to Thaumcraft, which sort of adds the ability to have modular wands. Like how Aquanatinga allows you to replace tool parts. This would allow you to replace wand parts, and maybe give each wand part like unique effects and such, so that you'd actually have actual choice rather than just, oh, this one is strictly better than this one. Well, maybe you don't. Ooh. Okay. It's time to stop this. It's, yeah, just about full. Alright. Nice. Alright. Let's see with us. Now we're gonna want a spark, which can be used to transport. It can be used to transport mana between mana pools and mana using apparatuses at a much more rapid speed than spreaders, and it's necessary for. Let's see. I'm sure I have it translated, Lexica Botanica, somewhere around here. There we go. For creating Terra Steel. But this video's gotten long enough already, so next time we'll start doing all that stuff with the Terra Steel, so we can make the Alpine Portal and do the Gaia Guardian and all that crap. And then set up some Botania apparatuses and hopefully never have to touch Botania ever again, because fuck Vazkey and everything he stands for. Until then, I have been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And remember, dislike the video, unsubscribe if you're for some reason subscribed, and leave a nasty comment in the comment section down below. So long, suckers!
You're gonna be okay, kid.